anyone here? Okay. I know when I first started, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to new moms. I'm going to talk to people my mom's age. Oh, I might as well throw in friends of my husband too. And then I'll talk to like Chelsea's age, and I'm just going to help everybody. And the problem is you just can't talk to everyone. You are never ever going to appeal to every single age group. It's impossible, and it's kind of a waste of your time. You need to sort of zone in on your niche or your target market. So the sooner you start talking to just those people, the easier it is and the quicker you're going to see success. As soon as I started sort of just talking to my person, first of all, conversations were a lot easier because we got along with each other. You know, like we were kind of similar. We liked similar things. So conversations really, really flowed fast. So it was easy to connect with them. It was easy to build that relationship. So I think that there's sometimes I think people really overthink this. Like, I don't know, they take branding courses, and I just think you have to keep it like very, very simple. So first question you need to ask yourself is like, what do I love? Like, what are my hobbies? What am I interested in? What are my passions? So one of them most likely is going to be health and fitness, right? Because we're all health and fitness. But I can tell you, I am not an athlete and I do not like working out, right? So I like health and fitness because I like feeling good, but I'm not necessarily wanting to talk to the crazy gym goer that loves working out like for a couple hours. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying there? Like, I like health and fitness, but I don't want to talk to athletes because I wouldn't know what to even say to them, right? Whereas you might have been the track star in high school. So that's going to be, you're going to veer in that direction. Or I'm probably going to use Chelsea a lot tonight just because obviously I know her very, very well. So she's into working out, right? Like, she's really into that. Her boyfriend's into it. So that's kind of where she would gear towards people like that. So we all have that generalized health and fitness, but where do you fall in that? So for me, I lost 80 pounds. Like, I like health and fitness because I don't want to weigh 80 pounds more again. That's the only reason. Like, I don't have enjoyment out of doing that 30-minute workout. I do it because I don't want to be fat anymore. You know, like, it's pretty simple for me. And some of you might have a similar story, or maybe you work out because you actually, like, you were an athlete, you did track, you just love working out. So you kind of have to figure out, even in the big realm of health and fitness, where you fall in. So health and fitness is going to be one for all of us, but you need to figure out what that is for you. So, for example, if you are my age or even a little bit older, is it just because you want to stay healthy? You want to keep looking as young as you can. You want to keep physical so you don't get sick. Like, where do you fall in that health and fitness line? And then beyond health and fitness, you need to think of other things. Do you like to garden? Do you like to scrapbook? Do you like to shop? Do you like to, like, what kind of stuff do you like to do? Do you like to cook? Do you like to read? Like, there's so many different avenues that you can zone in on, and you really need to start thinking about a couple of those things. Colleen, you and I have talked before that what did you do? Creative Memories before?
Yeah, I was a Creative Memories consultant for 10 years.
Yeah. So there, like, she has that little niche. So she wants to write that. Like, I think I like people to have 5 things. Like, they have 5 things written down. And what I do, and I'm going to share with you what my 5 are. And first of all, I want to see if you guys know what my 5 are. I'm sure you do. And then when I craft a post, I'm always having them relate back to one of those 5. Like, I really stick within that 5. So hobbies, sports, crafts, whatever that kind of stuff you like. Identify problems that you can solve. So I'll use myself as an example. I have lost 80 pounds. I can help a person lose 80 pounds with my personal experience. I don't need to be like a fitness professional to help and mentor someone to lose weight, because I have done it. I can share my experience. I have gone through infertility. I've gone through a divorce. I've adopted a little girl. I can help people, and I have PCOS. So there's 4 things that I have that I can help people with. I can actually help them solve a problem with my experiences. So what is some things that you have conquered? What are some problems that you could help people solve? That's part of your niche market as well. So for me, my 5 are health and fitness, but very much geared towards helping someone that's really, really heavy, losing a considerable amount of weight because they want to look better. Like, honestly, like, yes, they want to be healthy, but it is kind of like they want to look better in their clothes. Like, that's my story. That's why I did it. It really had, I would have, if there was a diet pill that would have worked, I probably would have bought it. Like, you know, it was really about me wanting to look and feel and be more confident. So it didn't really have much to do with health. So I'm not going to start talking about, oh, I did this for my health. I did it to be more confident. That was what I was lacking. That's what I wanted. So that's my health and fitness story. I'm a girl mom of 1. So, you know, I can't relate to someone that has several children. I'm also an adoptive girl mom of 1. So I can not really relate to mummies, like people that have just had babies. I don't know what that's like. I have never had a kid. I can't talk about breastfeeding. I can't talk about what happens after you give birth. Like, I cannot talk about any of that stuff because I did not have to do that. And thank God for that. Like, so I can't really go, like Megan, for example, can talk about Shakeology safe for breastfeeding women. Like, why would I make a post like that? I've never breastfed. That would sound ridiculous. Like, I don't know that story. If someone asks me about it, I'll go get Megan's help. You know what I mean? So I'm not gearing my post towards women that are breastfeeding or women that are expecting, because that's not my story. I'm gearing it towards women that have PCOS, are having infertility problems, and have possibly adopted. So that's kind of my mom's story. It's much different than someone that would have had a baby themselves. I hate to cook. On the daily, I tell people I hate to cook. That's part of my niche. And you do not even know how many messages I get a day from people saying, oh my God, I'm just like you. I want to eat healthy, but I hate to cook. Perfect. We're a match made in heaven, because I'll give you all my easy recipes and you'll be fine. You know, like, those are the types of people that I get talking to. And it's easy for me to talk to them because we just laugh about it together and we feed our family eggs, and we're happy about that. Like, for me to go and post really intricate recipes and say I'm, you know, making this special fancy meal, like, that would just, I would be talking to people, I would attract people that weren't like me, and we wouldn't have a good conversation back and forth, because I would be thinking inside my head, you are nuts to spend an hour in the kitchen. Are you kidding me? So, you know, I want to talk to people that are like me. Coffee and wine. I talk about it every single day, one or the other. There's always somewhere in my pages something about coffee and wine, whether it's my coffee cup, or it's why I like coffee, or how much longer until I can have wine. Like, it's all surrounded about those 2 things because I love them. They're part of my thing. So that's really, you know, really where my posts are focused on. I don't necessarily have hobbies. Like, I really actually like to work. I love to find workaholics because that's kind of what I love to do. I don't necessarily love to garden or scrapbook or, like, I don't really like anything else. So for me to talk about that kind of stuff would be silly, but you might have something that you really like to do. Scrapbooking, gardening, a sport like CrossFit or ball hockey or skating. Tammy, you like skating, you know, like, start integrating those things into your post, and then you're going to find people that are like you. And then all of a sudden conversations go a lot smoother. Now, this is saying after you're past your warm market, the people that already know and trust you, those conversations are going to be a lot different. They maybe don't have a lot in common with you, except that they already know and trust you. So when you first start, you're often talking to those people, and those conversations go fairly smoothly because they already have this trust built in you. It's when you start talking to the next section of people that you need to find this common ground, and then your conversations are going to start to flow really, really well. Something that I love to do is find coaches that are like me. So I will find other coaches in the network that are girl mom of one. Maybe they have PCOS, and the easiest place to find them is usually on Instagram, and you just search some hashtags. So I'll search PCOS. I'll search girl mom of one. I don't even know, infertility, lots of those hashtags, like if you were going to do scrapbooking, and you could find some coaches that are much like you, and you could just sort of see what they're doing. It's not about copying, but it is about being inspired by other coaches, maybe that are up a level, or some of the top coaches, and see, on Instagram, what hashtags are they using? What's working for them? What kind of pictures are working for them? Look for clues from top coaches. I mean, you can look for clues even on our own team. Like, how are we posting? What do our pictures look like? Are they bright? Are they clear? Do they have words all over them, or don't they have words? Like, take little clues from coaches that are doing well and follow it, mimic it, because there's a reason, right? I remember early on I started following. This is a funny story, actually. So Bonnie Engel, does everybody know who Bonnie Engel is when I say that name? She's number 2 in the network, beautiful blonde girl. I remember asking Brian, who are some of the top coaches that I should follow? And he said, go to Bonnie Engel's page. So I went to her page, and I remember scrolling and thinking, God, she only posts pictures of herself. Like, I don't want to look at this page. This is ridiculous. And at the time, I was posting all of those like things off of Pinterest. So I was grabbing quotes. I was grabbing, those visuals. What are those called? Infograms or info whatever, like just stuff that was not about me. I was just grabbing stuff online and posting it to my page all the time. And I was feeling like that's what I was supposed to be doing. So when he sent me to her page, I was like, why would I want to follow this girl? All I see is her face, like every single day, a couple times, like 3 or 4 times. This is crazy. But as I kept following her and realizing, okay, this girl obviously knows what she's doing. She's rising up the ranks like crazy. Then I could see that is how she is relating to her customer. I started watching what she was doing. I started reading her posts and saying, okay, she's always sort of talking about, she's using a personal story, but she's talking about the challenge group, or talking about how she is exercising, or what she's doing, or why she's a coach, and what coaching is doing for her. So I did not ever go and copy and paste her posts, but I certainly took inspiration from what she was doing. And if you scroll back in my pages, you can almost see where I made the switch, that it made sense. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm trying to build trust with everyone. I need to be the face they see. And I think all of you know that, like, we talk about that a lot. I think you've all got that down pat. And now it's just tweaking it, right? Now it's just kind of getting those selfies right. And like Jess and I talked about this last night, using some brighter light, just standing in front of a bright window. And I know that sometimes we're working out in the dark basement. Shelby and I had this conversation quite a while ago. She does her workout down in this dark basement early morning. And I said, well, you know what? Someday just go upstairs in front of a bright light with a few different workout outfits and just have some pictures ready. Just take those bright pictures during the day and use them, because you're going to have a lot more people looking at your stuff if your pictures are nice and bright and clear. So that's just a tip for your pictures. So once you get these 5 things or 6 things or whatever you've got, you want to focus your posts around that. And take clues. I mean, Megan is amazing at this. Always follow her and I have a very similar niche market, except the mom. She's obviously a mom of 4 and a nurse, and I'm a little bit different there. But the coffee and that kind of stuff, we share similarities there. So you can watch our pages and see where they're geared towards, who they're geared towards, and always try and keep that. When I started, I kept my list right in front of me, and I tried to gear my stuff towards that. So the next question people always ask me is, and Colleen and I just had this conversation, how do we start finding new people? And I really do think that as soon as you can, you should start this. Because I don't feel that your warm market ever runs out if you continue to build relationships right from the beginning with new people. So I feel like, here's an example, Jess. We don't know each other from a hill of beans, but I feel like I know her very well. And I have no clue how we connected. Like, I can't remember. I don't know if she saw me, like she liked my ad and I messaged her. Like, I have no clue how we connected, but I messaged her at some point in time, obviously. And we just kept chatting. Like, I never asked her to buy anything. I just kept chatting with her and checking in with her and finding out what she was doing. Somewhere along the line, I knew she was, maybe not totally happy with her weight, was working on that. So I would check in with her every once in a while. And then our relationship just evolved. Would you agree, Jess? Like, I don't really know how we met. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was almost a year ago.
Was it?
I must have found like something on Facebook of yours, and I loved it. It was just a very motivational post, and I can't remember what it was. And then that's when you started messaging me.
Yeah.
And we just kind of messaged back and forth, and then when your dad died,
yes,
I had messaged you and said, hey, I feel your pain. It's been 3 years and it's never going to get easier.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. Or like, just pictures about your kids, your daughter is hilarious because she's so stinking cute. So yeah, I think that's how we just got started, like randomly.
Yeah. So somewhere along the line, your post, if your friend likes my post or your friend likes your post, then all of a sudden her post, like her friends like it, and then her friends. So somewhere in this big universe of social media, Jess saw it and she must have liked it, because then I would have messaged her. And that's why that's so important, right? Like, you want to make sure that when people are commenting on your post, you comment back and tag them. Because what that does is it pushes it into their news feed. Now, Instagram, Chelsea, I don't know about that. Yeah. How does it?
From what I've gathered, your first half hour to an hour is your most important. So when somebody comments on it, you want to make sure you're commenting back fast, because then it pushes your feed to more people and puts it in more people's Explore, so they would see it. So it's that commenting back right away, even if it's just an emoji or thanks. That's what's important. And obviously does the same thing for them.
Yeah. So then it pushes it into other feeds. So that's good to know. That's really good to know. That's
that first half hour to an hour. So some people are like, well, you just put your phone away and don't worry about it. Don't worry about your likes. But I think commenting back right away is always really important.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Facebook, I don't know that timing really matters. I don't know that. I should figure that out. But I do know that is I try to make sure that I comment underneath, even if and normally I'm going to go message those people too, right? Like, Jess will say, oh, cute picture. Colleen will say, cute picture. I know in my head, oh, there's great potential for a good conversation there. So I'm going to message them, but I'm also going to comment underneath and tag them, because then it just keeps my post alive. And that's probably how Jess saw one of my posts. And then she would have liked it or maybe commented, but probably first time probably just liked it. And then I go and do that connection message like, hey, thanks for liking my post. Like, and, you know, try and relate a question back to it so we can keep chatting. So that's your first way. Every single time you make a post, you make sure you're messaging and commenting underneath any comments. And I know I get lots of my posts don't get any comments, like still tons of them. But even if 2 people like it, that's great. I still message those people. So that's the first way. Your second, and getting into more detail, and I think the sooner you start this kind of stuff, the better. So how I built my business from the very, very beginning is I did have a Facebook fan page or Facebook business page. Okay. So a Facebook business page is somewhere that you can run ads from. I did invest about $1 to $2 every single day from the very beginning. So what I have, and I've done different things in the last 3 to 4 years just because Facebook has changed. But, you know, there was different things that worked at different times. But right now, what is working is, I should actually try and find it so I can show you guys. It's an ad of myself holding a coffee cup that says, what's it say? What's that coffee cup we have, Chelsea? It's the wine one that Amanda gave us.
This is wine? Is this wine or coffee? This may be wine.
Yeah, it's, you know, one of those funny cups. There's a chance this is wine. There's a chance this is wine, right? So it's just me, bright, clear picture with this coffee cup. And in my text, it's really simple. It just says, you know, it's always a constant, it's always 50-50 for me. Is it time for wine? Is it still coffee time, or is it time for wine? Like something like that. And and then I think I end it with a question like, do you guys agree? I mean, sometimes a lot of our girls right now are saying like, mamas, do you feel me? Like, I don't love that sentence, but it seems to work. I just say, do you understand? Or do you feel the same way, or something like that? So what happens is pretty much every single day, I get like 20 to 30 to 50 some days new likes on that post. I probably get a couple comments every day, but really it's the likes. So every single day I go to those likes and I send them a message. And I say, thank you so much for liking. First I say, I hope you don't think this is random. I'm not crazy, but you liked my post and I just wanted to thank you for, you know, supporting my page or liking my post. I love connecting with women or other moms that are trying to stay healthy and fit, blah, blah, blah. And I give them a link to my support page, but I also add them as a friend. And that's the most important thing, is you want to add them as a friend. Behind all of that, behind the scenes, is that in Facebook, you actually get to target exactly who you want to talk to. And this, if you guys are ready to do this, I am going to walk you through it personally. So Colleen and I already have a little date set up. We're going to do this. She's ready to start up a fan page. We'll get a nice picture of her. We'll figure out what works with her. And we're going to set these targets. And that's why I need you to know what your niche is. So I need you to know, like, what are your favorite stores? What are your favorite books? What are your hobbies? What are the ages you want to target? So my targets are very specific. They are moms that have kids between the ages of 4 and 7. They are women that like Sephora. They like Aveda. They like Kate Spade. Like, I have it drilled down so like targeted that literally the women that I am talking to almost are like my twin, because they, you know, I've targeted so well. So there's so many different things that you can target, but that's why I need you to if you want to go this route, and you have to be willing to spend at the very minimum $1 a day. So what I usually say is we start with $5 and we get that ad ramped up. So we figure out how it's going to work. We get lots of likes on it. And then as soon as we know it's working, we can drop it right down to $1 a day, and you'll have plenty of people to talk to. So I honestly, at minimum, add about 5 people to my network a day because of this. So I might friend request 15 to 20, but I will generally get 5, if not more, a day. Sometimes they click the link to go into my support group and sometimes they don't. It doesn't really matter to me if they go in my support group or not. I mean, really what I want is them to become my friend, because the next day after they become my friend, I send them another message. So I have this whole system going, right? One day I message all these people that have liked my ad. The next day I go to my friends, my new recent friends on my Facebook page, and I now message them and I say, thanks for accepting my request. By this time they know that I'm a health and fitness person. Like, they've seen it on my page. I mentioned it in my first message, so that's not foreign to them. And I literally just asked them, are you working towards any health and fitness goals today, right now too? And I'll help you with all those messages. But so that's the route that I took to build my network. So I always had new people. I'm in a constant state of talking to someone new every single day and building that relationship. It doesn't mean like I have 10 new amazing relationships starting every day. Not at all. I mean, I might have one every couple days that I just, like Jess would have been one of those people. I just knew eventually she was definitely going to be a challenger. She was definitely going to be a coach. Like, we had several connections in our conversations. You just kind of have a feeling. I have one lady, she just messaged me before the call, and we just met a couple weeks ago. So it kind of happened a little bit faster. But the more targeted you can get, it's amazing. You're really meeting people that are much like you. Shelby just popped on. So do you want to maybe share how your ad is going, Shelby?
Yeah, so sorry, I got sidetracked with the time, so I just got home. So yeah, I just got a selfie. I did it in front of my balcony door and threw on a couple filters to make it super bright, and just found a quote that Michelle had used about your caffeine first thing in the morning. And I think out of all of the ads I had done, this is the one that has done really, really well. I can't even keep up with inviting people to like the page, sending them friend requests, and messaging them. I do that all at night. I think I've had it running for a week and a half, and I think there's almost 300 likes on it, but not every single one of those people are responding or accepting my friend request or conversing with me. But I'll send them a message saying that I'm, a fitness person, and if they're having any goals, kind of like Michelle, and then invite them to my support page. But to that, because then as a message request, they might not even see it. So, but they'll those messages, but they're already engaging on my personal page. So some of them has taken me a little bit to actually get a conversation started, but I'm at least getting them as a friend, or getting them somewhere. They might not accept my friend request, but they'll get into my support page, and then it's just kind of getting them to the point where I want them to be. So it's doing really well. I might tweak the quote on it, but I'm not really sure. But I think this is my 4th or 5th one, and this is the one that's by far done the best.
Yeah. And it does take some tweaking. And they run dry. So this one that I have going right now, I really keep a watch on it to make sure that it stays, that it's doing well. And once it's done, it's done. And then you just get in. And that's a really good point. Using a quote is awesome. My first ad was probably still my best one. And it was, I don't know, something about confidence and coffee and confidence. I forget what it was, but it was just a quote that I looked on at Pinterest. Like I found it on Pinterest. So I took my own picture with my coffee cup, and this was like, you're going to win this day. I think that's what my coffee cup said. And the quote was similar to that. And it did really well too. So
I got that one and it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So, and I like use the ad manager. So every morning it tells me how well it does. And every day I've hit the max. So I have it set for $3 a day and it's hitting the max every day. But I think once it doesn't is when I'm just going to cut it and try something different.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really good point. So clearly Shelby is a lot younger than me. So when I talked to Shelby about her target market, so another way, so let me backtrack a little bit. There's a way you can find new people and pay for them. My top coach did not do this route. So Megan did not start her business paying for people. So you do not have to do this. I think it makes it a little bit easier. I really do. She went the other way, and she was really quite aggressive with adding people as friends. I don't mean aggressive like gross and scummy. I just mean she wasn't afraid to sort of go to her husband's friend list or her best friend's friend list and actually add friends. So she was not afraid to sort of find people that she thought might be interested in her and what she had to offer, and she would add them as a friend. And if they accepted, Shelby says she does that all the time too. And if they accepted, she would just send them a message saying, you know what, thanks for accepting my friend request. I know it's kind of weird, but I just really love connecting with other moms, other moms that are trying to stay healthy and fit. So she was really comfortable doing that. So that is a way you can do it. You can join different Facebook groups. And this comes back to knowing your niche and knowing your stuff. So Tammy, you could join skating groups. I'm sure there's 1,000 of them on Facebook. If you have a dog, or if you're from, like, I could probably join a Grand Bend group or a Southwestern Ontario group. I could join PCOS group. I could join adoptive mom group. And you don't just go in there and be salesy, you build relationships, right? So you start liking posts or maybe making a post, and people that like it, you start connecting with them, and then you add them as a friend. Like this all takes time, but that's another way to build up your relationships with people and build up your friend list. Carla, she's quite athletic. So she actually goes into different sort of fitness type groups, and she's gotten some really great coach potentials out of that because they are fitness minded. So she's done some different challenges, like actual challenges on Facebook. I don't really know how she does it, but she's made lots of really great relationships that way. So she's done a lot of that group stuff. The other way is doing your free challenges, which I think is super important to start doing once a month. Now, I know some of us have a Shakeology Shake Off coming up, so that's going to be this month, but forever and ever and ever, I ran a free group once a month. Get a partner, grab another teammate, and just run free groups. They're 5 days. What I would always suggest is when you make your post announcing you're going to have a free group, they have to tag 2 friends to get into the free group. So there you go. You've got 2 new people, and I make people do it. Like lots of people will say, I'm in, and they won't tag anyone. And I will comment underneath, Tammy, that's awesome. I can't wait for you to tag 2 of your friends to join us. And if she doesn't, I will message her and I will say, so what 2 friends are we tagging? Because they don't get in my group without tagging some friends. It doesn't mean that those friends are going to want to join. They don't usually, but it gives me 2 people to add as friends and talk to. So that is a way that I built up for sure. I got new people all the time. Another way is, asking for referrals. Like when you're having conversations with people or you have challengers that have done really well, actually asking them to add some of their friends. as well as giveaways. So if you have this is easier to do in a support group. I've never done one sort of on my personal page. So this is easier to do in sort of one of those more private groups. But I would often give away 7 packets of Shakeology. And again, it would be just to win the prize, you have to add 10 people to my group. I did that all the time. Now, beware. Sometimes those 10 people are not in your niche. I have a lot of kind of scary people in my support group because of my giveaways. But anyways, you just have to weed through those. I mean, there's some great people that were added too that I would not have known otherwise. But I would say that's how Megan really built up her support page. So if you're kind of going that route, we've talked about that a lot too. Doing giveaways once a month. Like I know she did giveaways once a month religiously. She would do a free group, then she would do her challenge group, and then she would do a giveaway. So she had it timed really perfectly because it would be free group. So she would talk to those free group people and have them join her challenge group. So as she was doing her challenge group, she had a giveaway happening in her support group. So all of a sudden, a whole onslaught of new people were in her group because of this giveaway. Within the first week of them being in that group, she would message them, welcome them to her group, and then they would see something free. They would see, oh my God, she's giving away a free clean eating challenge. Perfect, I'm going to join that. So they would join her free clean eating challenge. They'd have to tag 2 friends. So then she got more people. And then she would try and convert them to Challenger. So it was quite a good system that clearly worked really well for her. I am not that organized. However, she was, and it worked really, really well. So those are some ways that you can really build up your network without having to pay for them. Instagram, a great way that I actually just learned. Chelsea, you probably saw this video. It was posted in our team page, but finding a brand or a store or an Instagram page that really speaks to you. So a new mom might choose Pampers or Toys R Us, or that's pretty general. I would, like for me, say I would go to Kate Spade's page and I would go and find all the followers of Kate Spade, and I would start going to their profiles and actually liking and commenting on a few of those pictures and trying to ask a question on their pictures, and then being able to start a conversation and start a relationship with them. So that's something that you can do on Instagram. I think it works really, really well. I'm just not quite focused on Instagram yet. Like I'm using it a lot more, but I'm not as familiar with it. That is for sure. But that is one way that I've heard from a lot of coaches that seems to be working. So find a page. So for example, I have this PCOS page that I follow all the time, and she has like a quadrillion followers. So I clicked on her followers, and then I just started clicking on some of their profiles. And then I would go through their pictures, and they often talked a lot about the things that I can help them with, because one of the side effects of PCOS is just obesity. So a lot of their profiles were about weight loss, like a clean meal that they're eating, or they've lost 10 pounds. So I could easily go on to their pictures and say, oh my God, girl, you're doing awesome. Or wow, that recipe looks great. What's in it? You know, you always want to try to use these questions when you're in your personal messenger. Always try to end with a question. If you kind of just end with, see you later, like people are not going to respond. They just aren't. You're going to have a message box full of people not getting back to you. But if you end with a question, you will usually get a response. So I really try to always end with a question. Like I just don't press send until there's a question. So when I do my like message from my business page, so my just thanks for liking my I've got wine post, and they add me as a friend, my first message to them, I always find something I can ask them. And I do it very easily. I don't really click into their profile. I really just look at their profile picture. Oftentimes for me, they have a kid in it, right? So often the people that I'm talking to have a toddler or a 6-year-old. So I'll say, like, how old's your kiddo? I have a 6-year-old. Her name's Delaney. Or, oh my God, I love your hair. Like that, it looks so good on you. Did you just get that done? Or, I love your glasses. Where did you get those? I love your shirt. Oh my God, what store is that from? Like, I just find anything to ask them. Like, I just pull it out of wherever, because I know that's going to start. Like, I've said, oh, I love your lipstick. What kind is it? What brand is it? Where did you get your hair done? Like, I have said, I think it's funny when I say, where did you get your hair done? Because I feel like, does this person know that I actually live in a different country? I'm clearly not going to her hairdresser, but I have asked that before. You know, I've tried to just find a question that I can ask them. And you can use that when you're talking to anyone, even when you're just talking to the people in your warm market. Because if you're asking them questions, they're more apt to answer you back, right? They're more apt to continue on that conversation. And that's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to continue to build the relationship with them. And it's twofold, because the more you talk to them in Messenger, the more they're going to see your posts. If you stop talking in Messenger, the chances of them seeing your posts are less. So that's the other reason why you really want to be messaging, like your business is really built in that Messenger. I know it's, sorry, I just got to take a drink. I know it's really, like, I could make posts all day. I love crafting posts. I love making pictures look pretty. I love doing all of that. But that is really just like 20% of it. It really is the stuff that's done in the Messenger. And at the end of the day, you could go on and on and on for months and months and months talking to people about, you know, how's your dog? How's your kids? How was your vacation? At some point in time, you do need to turn it around and talk about health and fitness. So, I mean, I do always try and find that commonality at some point, because you could, honestly, I've spent years talking to people and never got to the point, you know, like we've just been gone around in circles forever. And at some point you do have to say, and that's why I love to make sure that I'm always doing posts that talk about what I'm doing. Like, I'm sharing my story. I'm sharing that I do workout. I don't necessarily blast the Shift Shop name. If you notice my posts right now, I talk about my ramped up new program. I don't ever mention Shift Shop. I very rarely mention the 21-day fix. I will do the containers. I'll say, for my accountability partners, 1 green heart, 1 red heart, 1 blue heart. And you know why I do that? It creates curiosity. If you don't know what the 21-day fix is, you're maybe going to message me and say, what the fuck is with all these hearts? Like, what is that? What are you talking about? Why don't you give us the calorie count? And I don't, right? You want to create curiosity. That's what we're going to talk about this on the team call on Saturday morning, is these posts need to create curiosity so people are actually messaging you and asking what you're talking about. And that makes your job a lot easier. So that's why all of my posts always kind of somehow I get them reverted back to coaching or my accountability group or my accountability partners or my workout or whatever, because then I'll have people asking me. If I say, I'm just going to go downstairs and have my chocolate Shakeology because I just feel so much better after that, like, who is going to message me? They are just going to say, I am never messaging her because she is just going to want me to buy Shakeology. But if I talk about, I'm going to go cure my cravings this afternoon because I feel like a Kit Kat, someone's going to be like, oh, wow, how is she doing that? How is she, like, I want a Kit Kat too. Like, how is she making it that she's not having that? So if you create curiosity around what you're doing, or that's why if you see Shakeology, I've made a mistake, because most of the time I do this. My pictures are always like this. You never see this. You will never see me go like this. Never. Please do not do that. Like, my mug is always this way. I every day have someone ask me what Energize is, because every morning, what's in my picture, what's in my hand? This cup that looks yellow, and Shakeology is usually back here, but it's filled with this yellow liquid. So I always get people messaging me and asking me that. And if they're asking me that, then I can go to them and say, are you working out right now? What are you doing? Are you going to the gym? Are you doing a new workout program? Like, I have no reason why I shouldn't ask that. If they're asking me about what I'm drinking before my workout, they're obviously interested, or they're doing it themselves. And that can lead in so many different directions, right? If it's someone that knows what pre-workout is, my alarms go off that this person could be a coach, because she's into health and fitness, right? So creating curiosity in your post is so important. And then taking it to the next step, that when people like it or comment on it, make sure that you're messaging them and connecting with them. And if you're making sure all of your posts sort of have something to do with your journey, you can really, your question can generally come right back to either coaching or your program, right? So every day, my first post is me after my workout. So whoever likes that post, I ask them, are you working towards some health and fitness goals too? Are you working out these days too? Are you a constant work in progress like me? Like, that's the language. Those are the questions that I ask. And I'm confident in asking them, because I feel like if someone's liked something of mine, it's an invitation for me to message them. You know, they've reached out themselves. So I will reach back out to them. You know, at night is often when I do a coaching post. And I definitely, if someone, like, I'm sure everybody saw my income post last night, the one that almost made me vomit doing. But so anybody that liked that, the last question I asked them, did this pique your interest? Have you thought about coaching too? Like, why wouldn't I ask that? They've liked this post. They've commented on it. So, and lots of them, surprisingly, wanted to know more about it. Doesn't mean they're going to sign up or anything, but they wanted to know more. They were interested in hearing more. And when I give them the details and it doesn't go anywhere, I don't get upset about it, because I know eventually it will. I've just planted a seed for later on. And I've seen that happen so many times. I've, spent some time with a person. We've talked about the challenge group. We've talked about a challenge pack, and they're just not ready. I don't get upset. I don't feel like a failure. I just be like, no worries. I'll talk to you in a couple months when you're ready, because that's exactly how it happens. Now they have some information. They're going to watch you. They're going to watch you closely. You're going to connect with them again in a month, probably, because you're going to follow up with them. And then eventually I see it all the time. There's even people still like that I talked 2 years ago, and now they're coming around. Question, Chelsea, do you have a question?
I just wanted to add, with the curiosity thing, it's 2017 now. So if someone sees that you have posted Shakeology or a 3-day refresh, they're just going to Google it. And if they want it, they're going to order it. And I find a lot of people sometimes, unfortunately, are embarrassed that they want to change and they want to lose weight. So if they don't have to talk to you, they're not going to. If they don't have to ask you what it is you're doing. I found when I did the 3-day refresh post, it was just a 3-day cleanse, and everyone was asking, what is this? What is this? Like, how'd you do it? But if I would have said 3-day refresh, everyone would just Google 3-day refresh and ordered it, and I wouldn't have known, right? So I think that's another big thing, because they could be ordering it and be potential customers, but you'll have never know, because you've posted Shakeology. I actually had this conversation with my mom the other day, because she was asking about her post, and I was like, well, she's doing the Shakeology posts. And I said, you don't want to do that because people are just going to Google Shakeology and order it themselves. And they're not going to actually know the benefits of it. So I think that's a big thing, is to always have the curiosity.
Yeah. It's so true. I mean, I am the perfect example of that. There is no way in hell I would have messaged anyone to help me lose weight. No way, shape, or form. No way. I didn't
for like 20 years.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't want anyone to know I was fat. It's like, I thought nobody could see it. Like, I just was so embarrassed. There is no way I would have taken help or asked for help. So it's, and I know that that's my customer. So that's why I'm very big on like just connecting and building a relationship, not like coming out and say, join my challenge group. You need to join my challenge group. Like, we just start talking and then it just kind of goes into that conversation. I would rather take my time, get to know people, and like a year later, here Jess is. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the way I've done things. Now, that's my market. Shelby, Chelsea, like, you girls, your clients, they want freaking abs. They want to look good in a bikini right now. So your market is so different than something like mine or Jess's, Colleen. Like, you guys, and Shelby and I have talked about this a lot. Like, if you're going to do a free challenge, you want to do like, let's rock our abs challenge, like, that's what your niche market wants. So you really have to start thinking about, okay, so this kind of goes back to, what problems can I solve? What problems does my market have? And how can I help them with that? Taking a clean eating challenge to like early 20s, they don't care. They want abs and they want to eat pizza after the bar. They don't want to eat lettuce ever. Like, but they want to look good. So you kind of have to really tweak to your age bracket. And I think coaching can work for any age bracket. It can work for any person. Doesn't matter if you're married, kids, tons of kids, like single. It can work for everybody. It's just kind of zoning in on who you can help and your strengths, and figuring out what your market really wants and then zoning in on that. Capiche? Do you guys have any questions? Did I totally confuse you? No? No, Tammy.
I might have questions tomorrow since I missed half the damn call, but.
Oh, that's okay. I did record it. I did remember. So yeah, we can, like, if you guys want to go the business page route, just message me. And if there are a couple of you, I'll probably do like a Zoom call where I can kind of share my page and show you all that kind of stuff. Your head is still spinning from Summit. Yeah, it's lots of information for sure. At the end of the day, guys, after all of this stuff, what you need to, all of you right now are still in your like building phase. So the most important thing for you guys to do is be on your journey and share it. And then make sure you're connecting with people and building relationships. Don't get caught up in all the extra shit, because really at the end of the day, that's all it is. You don't need to know anything else besides getting really focused on your own health and fitness journey and getting really comfortable sharing it with people, getting really good at posts, like getting good at selfies, getting good at if you're a writer, write. If you're not really a writer, figure out little short snippets. There's top coaches that write paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, and there's top coaches that write 4 sentences in each post. Figure out what works for you, because they all work. Add your own sense of style, your own humor, your own personality. Get really good at that, and then you're going to see the likes increase. You're going to see more people commenting, and then you can take more action. You can start connecting with them more. You can start commenting and keeping it in your news feed. You know, those are the things you need right now to get really, really good at. So all the other stuff is, you know, it's things to think about, but really that's where you need to focus, is that kind of stuff, because that's what's going to build your business. The more relationships you can build with people, the faster you're going to grow. The more people you talk to, the faster your business is going to grow. That really is the key at the end of the day. The more conversations you have every single day, the better. And as much as that isn't really the sexy part of the business, like that's kind of the tiresome part, that really is where it is. Like we're in the business of building relationships. We're not like selling the 21-day fix. The 21-day fix, you can buy it on Amazon. We don't need to sell it. You need to sell yourself. So to sell yourself, you have to build that relationship and build trust with people. So, I mean, it definitely, you need to figure out how you're going to get new people in the market for sure. But first, you want to really perfect your posts and getting really comfortable with that kind of stuff. So don't get too worked up about all the extra stuff, but, you know, you start thinking about it a little bit, but it's really just sharing your journey and then connecting with people. Sound good? Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So message me if you want help to go beyond, if you want help with a fan page and that kind of stuff, because there is kind of a specific, I've kind of narrowed down to what you really need to do on one of those pages. So we can figure that out together. Okay.
Yeah. I need some help on my business page for sure. Just because it's,
okay.
I don't know where to go with it. Yeah. You know, just the direction and, you know where all your buttons are? The like button and the follow button is never lit. Is that just because it's still in editing form, or? So I don't know if that's functional or if I'm in the wrong setting or.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look at that. So it's not, so people can't like the page? Is that what it is?
That's what it's, yeah, it's not lit up to like it.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's just because I'm as an administrator on it or.
Okay. What is your name of the page?
It's Jess's Healthy Living Support or something like that. Okay. It's at Jess Larson Clapp.
Okay. Can you send me the link?
Yeah.
Okay. Send me the link and then I'll see what I can see when I go on it. And then we can. Okay. But yeah, right. Maybe you and I can have a call just ourselves and then I can go on Zoom and help you with that. I still feel like where you need to live the most is your personal page right now. Okay. So that's where I think you should really do your best posts and really do that. Your business page is really just a tool for you to run ads. So don't worry too much about posting too much. Like I post something on my business page once a day, but truthfully, I have 10,000 followers and I've probably paid for 9,900 of them through my ads. Like almost like 3 years of ads, right? 3 years, $1 a day. That's how those followers have come. So it's not the stuff that's I'm putting on that page that's got people there, and they're really not seeing it anyways. Your personal page and that business page run very, very differently. The algorithm on a business page, nobody sees your shit, honestly, unless they are literally on Facebook. The minute you post it, they're not going to see it. So don't worry too much about what you're posting there. What I do is I take one of my posts every day that I do on my personal page and just throw it on my business page. I don't reinvent anything. I don't stress myself out about it, but I always have a really awesome ad running on that page. So that's the only reason I use that page. I don't worry about anything else. Now, you'll go to my page and see lots of links and all this shit because 3 years ago, the business page was where we ran our business. I didn't even post on my personal page 3 years ago. Nobody in my real world knew what I was doing. Like I didn't start posting on my personal page until about a year ago. So things have really changed. So now some days on my business page, all I do is share a video or share I always share like my post. My morning post is usually what I do. Like, so my thing is I'll post it on my personal page, then I'll take it to my business page, but I'll schedule it for a couple hours later. And then I'll take it over to Instagram. I'll just do that same post in those 3 places because it's different people seeing it. And if it's the same person seeing it, it's probably my mom because she's the only one and my cousin, she's the only one that likes all my pages. Like no one else likes them all, right? Like if they're seeing all of that, they probably really like you and don't care. They just scroll by and you're not pissing them off. It's different people everywhere. So I try and repurpose a lot of my stuff. So I'm not like having to work overtime. But we can have another talk about that. Like when there's people that are really going to dive into a business page, we can have another call and just really do specific business page stuff. And if you're ready, if you're feeling, I wouldn't say like it's a major necessity for anyone to start running ads, but you'll probably want to do it in the near future, just so you keep getting new people in your circle, because that's really important. If you listen to Melanie Mitro's webinar podcast, that's something that she does say, that you start and your first couple months are awesome because you're talking to your friends, and then maybe they tell their sister, and then all of a sudden everything dies and you're like, shit. Like, so if you start adding new people from the very get-go, you'll have an easier time of it if you're always just starting new relationships. But I would start just by making sure you've talked to everybody in your friends list. You've maybe gone to your best friend's friends list, your husband or whatever, ex-husband, whatever, find people. I would go that route first, like find people that are just kind of 4 degrees of separation before you necessarily have to start talking to strangers. Okay?
I can see your page, Jess.
Chelsea can see it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
And is there a like button on there?
Yeah, and I liked it.
Oh.
Yes.
I got a like. It is working, okay. But it needs some serious help.
Yeah. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like once a day, just share a post over there.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't worry. Don't get hung up on, oh no, I only have 100 followers. That means jack shit. It doesn't matter. Like just because I have 10,000 followers means nothing. Like 0, it doesn't mean a thing. Most of those people don't see the page ever. Just because they like it doesn't mean. The only people that mattered are the people that I was smart enough to message, and I added them to a friend on my personal page, and I've actually built a relationship with. Those are the only people that matter on that page. So focus on your personal pages and use that as a vehicle. I'm glad you have one set up because now we can start an ad whenever you want.
Okay.
Honestly, yes, when I started, I did a support page and a like page. Like I did everything all at once. So I don't even have 100 people who like my page, but when I go through it, there is no likes on any of the normal the normal posts that I put on there. The only ones that get them are the ads. So I've had that page for 8 months. Jack shit goes on it unless I'm paying for it. So don't feel like I'm not getting shit. I'm not getting nothing on it either, honey. So it's okay.
Well, I was thinking of paying for an ad, and then I'm like, well, I got nothing on here. Yeah. What's the point? Because I didn't want to attract people to come look at it, and then they're like, oh, she's got one ad. Oh, that's cute.
So I invite them to like the page. I send them a friend request and message them all 3 at the same time. So they don't see shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, like I'll I'll post my morning post over to my like page, my business page, and I'll get like 3 likes, and one of them is my mom. Like honestly, and I have 10,000 followers. I think I have almost 11,000 followers, but they don't see it. Like they just don't. Like Facebook is so the way it runs is so crazy. So don't worry about any of that. That page is just going to be a vehicle for when you're ready to do an ad. Don't do an ad without me though. Please.
Okay.
You'll just be wasting your money because it is so specific in targets. Honestly, that is the only way we can make it work. So if you want to think about it, doing an ad, what I need you to do before we talk is get at least 50 things down on paper that interest you. So sports, stores are key, like where you shop, hobbies, singers, books, 50 things, because that's what we're going to target. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for coming.
Good night.
Good night.